Assalamu alaikum and welcome to the Debe Islamic Association's Ramadan Reminders. This year we'll be looking at the explanation of Chapter 2, Surah Baqarah, the chapter of the cow. And we'll be looking at the second major theme in this chapter, Allah's knowledge. This follows last year's series, which dealt with the first major point, faith versus disbelief. Today we'll be discussing ayahs 261 and 262. Since we're in the days of forgiveness, the middle 10 days of Ramadan, let's recite the recommended dua for such. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Astaghfirullah Rabbi min kulli dhanbi wa atubu ilayh. I ask forgiveness of my sins from Allah, who is my Lord, and I turn towards Him.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم مثل الذين ينفقون أموالهم في سبيل الله كمثل حبة أنبتت 7 سنابل في كل سنبلة 100 حبة والله يضاعف لمن يشاء والله واسع عليم الذين ينفقون أموالهم في سبيل الله ثم لا يتبعون ما أنفقوا منا ولا أذى لهم أجرهم عند ربهم ولا خوف عليهم ولا هم يحزنون.
As we look at the major subtopics of Surah Baqarah, last year we looked at faith versus belief at the beginning and the end of the surah. And this year, in the first 10 parts, we looked at Allah's knowledge at the beginning of the surah from 21 to 39. And now we're continuing from part 11 onwards by looking at Allah's knowledge at the end of the surah. So as we're looking at this second section of Allah's knowledge, specifically with respect to charity and finance, there are 3 main points. We have already covered the first one, encouraging believers to give of the bounties of Allah. We've covered the middle point, that God is all-powerful, and in this ruku, or this section 36, it falls within the last point, which looks at the parables about charity and its rewards, usury and its punishments, and debts. And this is a reflection of the first point, where the believers also give from what Allah has provided for them. Let's look at the objective for today's discussion, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala speaks about the parable of spending in charity. And we can find this in page 44 of volume 2 of Ibn Kathir. And this really speaks about the benefit that we shall have, which is multiplied many, many times. So Allah now gives a parable of spending in charity. He's showing the reward of doing such. Here he says it in ayah 261. مثل الذين ينفقون أموالهم في سبيل الله. مثل, which means the parable, the example. الذين, so the example of those who do what? Who ينفقون أموالهم. Yunfikuna comes from the root word nafaka, which means to spend. So this is an example of those who spend their wealth, amwalahum, fi sabilillah, in the path of Allah. Kamathali, so this parable is just like habbatin ambatat. It is just like a seed or a grain which grows. And how much does it grow? Sab'a sanabila. It grows 7 ears. So this means that Allah allows the seed which has been planted to grow a stalk, and from the stalk we will get 7 ears of corn. And the ayah goes on. Fi kulli sumbulatim mi'atu habbat. Fi kulli sumbula. Fi, in each one of these is mi'atu, there is 100 habba. There is 100 grains. So here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is showing in this parable that He multiplies the rewards for the good deeds that one performs. Just as He grows the plant for whoever sows it in the fertile land. Multiplication is not limited. So there's a hadith reported in Sahih Muslim, which means it's an authentic hadith, in which it was said, once a man gave a camel with its bridle away, fi sabilillah, in the cause of Allah. And the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam explained this as follows. لَتَأْتِيَنَّ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ, on the day of Qiyamah, on the day of resurrection, بِسَبَعِ مَاءَ, you will have 700 camels with their bridles. So the man who gave away in the path of Allah, that is the multiplication of his rewards on that great day, on the day of Qiyamah. So there's a pertinent hadith about spending in the cause of Allah recorded in Sahih Muslim, which means it's authentic. And here the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam stated, Kullu amal ibni Adama yudha'af. Every good deed that the son of Adam performs will be multiplied, hasanatu bi ashar, will be multiplied tenfold. Ila saba'i ma'ati dhif, and it will be multiplied up to 700 folds. Ila ma sha'Allah, to whatever Allah wills. Yaqulullah, so Allah is now saying, illa som, except som, except the fast. For it is for me, and I, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, will reward it. One who abandons his food and desires in my sake. The fasting person has 2 types of happiness. One, when he breaks his fast, and the second one, when he meets his Lord. Verily, the odor that comes from the mouth of whoever fasts is more pure to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala than the scent of musk. Sawma mujunnah. Fasting is a shield. Wallahu yudha'ifu liman yasha'u. And Allah multiplies manifold, many times, for whomever He wills. He doubles, triples, makes it 700 times the amount, His reward, according to the person's sincerity, which is within his heart, and only Allah is aware of what is in one's heart. And Ayah concludes, Wallahu wasi'un alim. And Allah wasi'un. And here is a characteristic of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the one who is all-encompassing. Alim. And the one who is all-knowing. So Allah grants rewards to whom He wills and multiplies it as much as He wills, because He is all-knowing. He's well aware of what is in our hearts and how sincere a person is in doing those acts of ibadah to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Fi sabilillah, in the path of Allah. So Allah continues to discuss about charity, where in this ayah He speaks about the haram part of it. And He says, الَّذِينَ يُنْفِقُونَ أَمْوَالَهُمْ فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ. الَّذِينَ, those who do what? Who yunfikuna. And that comes from the word nafaka, to spend. So those who spend amwalahum, their mal, their wealth. So He's saying here, those who spend their wealth fi sabilillah, path of Allah, pleasing to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He now continues by saying thumma, then la yutbi'una, do not follow up. And what are we not following? Ma anfaqu, do not follow up what we have spent, what we have given in charity, manna, with reminders of it. So we don't go around and saying, remember, I gave you so and so. Wala adhan, and also do not cause injury. This indicates that the people who are pleasing to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala do not go around causing harm to those whom they gave the charity to. For this will cancel off, will negate their charity. And after Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave this warning, He now promised, Lahum ajruhum inda rabbihim. Lahum ajruhum. For them will have ajr. They will have rewards inda rabbihim, with their Rabb, with their Lord. So He's warning us, those who are spending and giving charity, be careful. Don't go and remind people that you have given. Don't cause injury to them. And if you stay away from that, there will be rewards with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah Himself will reward them for their righteous deed. And the ayah goes on, وَلَا خَوْفٌ عَلَيْهِمْ. And just as Allah, after His warning, gave good tidings, He's also saying, وَلَا خَوْفٌ. Wala, and do not khawf, do not fear anything concerning them. And Ibn Kathir explains this, specifically, there is no need to fear about giving charity in the name of Allah on the Day of Judgment. It will not be something that is weighing against us. And the ayah ends, وَلَا هُمْ يَأْذَنُونَ. وَلَا هُمْ, nor will they يَأْذَنُونَ, nor will they grieve. So Allah gave 3 glad tidings. First of all, there will be reward with their Lord, and there is no need to fear, nor any reason to grieve. And this also speaks about the offspring, the children, the grandchildren, the progeny that we leave behind when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala calls us, and the adornments and delights and the wealth of this world. Those who are blessed in this way, they will not feel sorry for this, for leaving this world and their offspring, because they will acquire what is far better for them. We have now come to the end of part 16 in the series of Allah's knowledge, where we looked at the parable of spending in charity. In preparation for part 17, we suggest you read the following 2 ayahs 263 and 64. We now end with the recommended dua. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم. Our Lord, accept this service from us, for indeed you are all hearing, all knowing. Assalamu alaikum